Hey guys, Raptor here, and I'll be reviewing the TotalMount for Nintendo Switch. Make sure you watch the whole video because we're actually giving one of these bad boys away. So the wall mount is really cool. It's made mostly for people who have a wall-mounted television, and instead of having to keep a cabinet underneath where you keep all your gaming consoles and things like that, you can actually mount it to the wall next to the TV, or if the TV sits out away from the wall, you can mount it directly behind the TV and you never see it. So this is my setup before I actually got the TotalMount. I just had the Switch in the dock, sitting on an HDMI switcher. It was able to rock back and forth pretty easily. If a strong breeze came out of the TV for some unknown reason, it really could have easily tipped it over. And it was always kind of a scary thing taking the Switch and loading it and unloading it. So for me, the TotalMount seemed like a great solution for me to get a more permanent and secure place to mount the Switch. The only things that are inside the box when you first get it are the TotalMount for the Switch, drywall screws, and a thank you letter. That's it. It's really minimal packing. So this is what the TotalMount for the Nintendo Switch looks like. Basically, you take the dock and you slide it right in. It actually has padding on all four sides, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. The cool thing about the Switch mount is that it has little hooks on the bottom, so that way you can actually hang up the Joy-Cons when they're not in use. It's a nice little addition, although not really necessary, because you can always have the Joy-Cons docked inside of the Switch when you're not using. So right off the bat, this dock is extremely durable. It's a really strong plastic. I didn't take a hammer to it or anything like that, but I mean, I was actually gripping it as tight as I could. I was trying to twist it. Not one thing I did to this scratched it, broke it, or tore it in any way. So the fact that it didn't break, despite me purposefully being extra rough with it, shows that it will really be useful in any situation. So in terms of build quality, I think that this is quite good. I have no problem with the way that it's built. In fact, I think it's built pretty smart. It has a gap between the backs, so that way it allows for ventilation. This thing does not fall out when you hold it upside down. Pretty sweet, actually, pretty sweet. I mean, there's no reason for you to ever mount it upside down because the Switch would instantly fall out, but the fact that it's being held in with just really tension is pretty amazing, and pulling it out is also easy. One of the things that I wanted to check out was how accurate the level was. Having that addition is really nice, but if it's an inaccurate level, then you're kind of screwing everyone over. So I checked it with my level, and they were spot on. Next, I wanted to check the Wi-Fi, and I wanted to see if the Wi-Fi was blocked or hindered in any way being placed inside the TotalMount. So what I did was I took the Switch to the farthest corner of my apartment, and then I ran a Wi-Fi test when the Switch was just sitting on my chest. So now that I have my control, I decided to do the internet test 6 more times. 3 with the Switch inside of its dock, and 3 more times with the Switch inside of the dock inside of the TotalMount system. I then took the averages of those 3 results, and it actually kind of surprised me. The Switch inside the dock and inside the TotalMount were both quicker than when the Switch was by itself. I think this makes sense. You're adding a power cable, it can boost the signal. So if you want the best internet connectivity, you should always keep the Switch inside some sort of dock. But what I didn't expect was that the Switch's download speed increased inside the TotalMount. Part of the marketing for this product is that it won't interfere with the Switch's internet connectivity, and it was something I just wanted to test. And sure enough, on average, the download speed was better inside the TotalMount than it was inside the dock alone. So I actually went out to the hardware store and purchased some drywall just for this experiment. I was able to install it on that piece of drywall in less than 4 minutes. It may have taken a little bit longer if I was more worried about leveling it, but I wanted to show how easy it was to install it through drywall with just the screws and the screwdriver. After I installed it, I put the dock inside the TotalMount, and then I put the Switch in there, and then I tried testing the durability under kind of extreme uses again. I was shaking it, I was pushing pretty hard, I was punching it. Punching it wasn't entirely necessary, I was just getting out some anger, and the TotalMount took it like a champ. For me, I live in an apartment, and I didn't necessarily want to install the TotalMount into the wall. So I weighed everything, and it weighed less than 2.3 pounds. I forcefully removed and added the Switch into the dock while it was still on the weight to see how high the weight would spike under normal circumstances of someone putting in a Switch in and taking it out. and it never got past 6 pounds of pressure. So then I went out to the hardware store and bought some 3M stickies that can support up to 16 pounds. So instead of drilling into the wall, I decided to use 3M stickies and stick it to the side of my entertainment cabinet, which is awesome. So now it's actually Velcro-y. I can take it on and off whenever I want to. I don't have to worry about it since it can support up to 16 pounds, and it looks pretty slick. So one thing to note is I wanted the cables to for sure go out of the left side. So there's enough room on either side of the TotalMount so you can put the Nintendo Switch dock forward or backwards. So I just put it in backwards and I have the cables going straight off to the left. It was actually pretty great. I was really stoked that I could do that. The only thing you have to remember is that you have to put in the Switch facing the wall unit as opposed to facing out like it was before. If anything, I feel like this would increase circulation, but since there's that built-in gap anyways with the TotalMount, I'm not too worried about circulation to begin with. I feel like they've already covered that. There are two kind of downsides, but I'm not entirely sure that that's accurate to say. One is that I don't know how well a dock sock will fit on top of the TotalMount. The other downside is that it only comes in one color, and it's that black gray. But I don't know if I can really consider this a downside because it matches the Switch's color almost perfectly. So until there's a different colored Switch, I don't necessarily see the reason to have a different colored TotalMount because at that point you're not matching the Switch anyways. So after all of these tests, I really don't have anything bad to say about the TotalMount. It's actually really cool. All in all, I really highly recommend this, especially if you need to mount it to the wall. I can't think of a better way to do it, and I don't know if there is another way to do it. If you do add 3Ms to it, it really opens up a ton of possibilities, and basically you can put this anywhere. So Innovelis has been pretty awesome. They sent us a review unit for free, and then we asked if they can send us a second one that we can use as a giveaway, and they said, yeah, sure. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're giving away one TotalMount for the Nintendo Switch totally free. We have the sign up link for the giveaway in the description below. Clicking that link will take you to a magical page where you can enter. The drawing ends July 10th and only one person can win. If you don't win, it's okay. You can still get the TotalMount from Amazon, but if you use the promo code RANDOM10, you get $10 off your purchase, which is like 1/3 of the price. This code will only work on Amazon.com and if you're actually buying the TotalMount for the Nintendo Switch. Not only does this get you $10 off your purchase, but it also supports our channel, which we really, really appreciate. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this review was helpful and informative. Let me know if there are any things that I accidentally left out that you'd like me to test in the comments, and I'll get to those as soon as I can. I'm Josh Raptor, and thank you guys so much for watching.